To our top focus tonight, the centre today disclosed before the Supreme Court 8 more names, including that of Pradeep Burman, one of Dabur India promoters, a bullion trader, and Goa miners, against whom it has started prosecution for allegedly stashing black money in foreign banks. Rajkot-based bullion trader Pankaj Chimanland Lodhia and Goa-based mining company Timblo Private Limited and its 5 directors were among the names that figured in the list, which was filed in the Supreme Court by the government today.
The centre has named in the Supreme Court 2 persons, a company and its 5 directors as those who have allegedly parked untaxed money in foreign accounts. In an affidavit filed in the court, it named Pradeep Burman, one of Dabur India promoters, Rajkot-based bullion trader Pankaj Chimanlal Lodhia and Goa-based mining firm Timblo Private Limited and 5 of its directors. It told the court that it does not intend to withhold information on persons or entities that have stashed black money abroad. It is committed to bringing black money back into the country and has, besides other measures, set up an SIT to look into the issue. It also said that all foreign accounts of Indians may not be illegal and names can only be disclosed in cases where investigations have been concluded. There is prima facie case of wrongdoing and prosecution for tax evasion has begun. Petitioner Ram Jethmalani has expressed his dissatisfaction with the centre's move.
It's a case of a mountain in labor producing a mouse. The mouse has been produced by the Ministry of Finance and the Attorney General. Go and ask them what they have to say about the mouse. I have nothing further to say except this, that ultimately the protector of human rights of this nation, unfortunate nation, is the Supreme Court of India. I have great hope that the Supreme Court will rise to the occasion and do the needful.
On the 16th of October, the centre told the Apex Court that under bilateral tax treaties, it cannot disclose information collected through them against black money hoarders unless prosecution is launched in Indian courts. It sought clarifications from the court on its judgment delivered on the 1st of May, asking the government to reveal details in 8 out of the 26 cases of Indians holding accounts in the LGT Bank, even though investigations in India have not yielded any evidence of tax evasion. However, what comes as a boost for India is Switzerland's willingness to provide information in cases where investigations have been carried out by the Income Tax Department independently from what the Swiss government considers as stolen data. Earlier, the Swiss government had not agreed to provide any information in such cases on the ground that these were stolen data obtained in breach of Swiss law. The Supreme Court's stand on the government's affidavit is likely to be known on Tuesday, when a bench headed by CJI H.L. Dattu is expected to examine it. With Vikas Sarthi, Newsnight Desk, DD News.
Among those named in government's affidavit in the Apex Court in the black money case, Pradeep Burman, a Dabur India promoter and Rajkot-based bullion trader Pankaj Chimanland Lodhia claimed innocence and said they have complied with all legal requirements. Radha Timblo, a director in Goa-based mining firm, however, declined to comment. She said she will only comment after she studies the affidavit filed by the government in the Supreme Court.
Black money was a major general election issue, and soon after the Modi government came to power at the centre, it cleared the setting up of a special investigation team or SIT in its first cabinet meet. And now, with a list of suspected black money hoarders submitted in the Supreme Court, the government is claiming to have taken another giant stride on the issue.
पिछले अगर आप 10 सालों में देखें, 8 सालों में देखें, तो एक तरह से डेडलॉक था. एक तरह से काले धन पर कहीं न कहीं सफेद चादर बिछाने की कोशिश हो रही थी, चादर उड़ाने की कोशिश हो रही थी. हमने काले धन पर सफेद चादर नहीं उड़ाई, हमने काले धन को बेनकाब किया है. और बेनकाब करने के लिए जो भी कानूनी प्रक्रिया है, एसआईटी गठित हुई. एसआईटी गठित होने के बाद स्विट्जरलैंड बैंक से ट्रीटी हुई और तमाम वो देश जो देश की पहले काले धन के मामले पर हमें सहयोग करने को तैयार नहीं थी, जो बैंक हमें सहयोग नहीं कर रहे थे, उन्होंने सहयोग करना शुरू किया.
But the proverbial cat among pigeons has been let loose among those named by the government in its SC affidavit. It includes the names of Dabur India promoter Pradeep Burman, Rajkot bullion trader Pankaj Chimanlal Lodhia, and Goa mining company Timblo Private Limited, as well as its 5 directors like Radha Timblo. Dabur India's promoter Pradeep Burman's name is the most prominent in the latest black money list. Pradeep Burman is not holding any post in Dabur India at this point. He was Dabur India's director from 1995 to 1998. The Burman family holds 78% of Dabur India. Burman has defended himself over the black money taint, claiming he opened accounts abroad when he was an NRI and he's not done anything illegal. Even Dabur India has issued a statement backing its promoter, reiterating his defense of being an NRI when he opened accounts abroad and voluntarily declaring all the money to Indian tax authorities as well as paying requisite dues. The government's affidavit in the Apex Court also points the finger at the Timlo Group. The list has the names of Timlo Private Limited and its directors Radha Satish Timlo, Chetan S. Timlo, Rohan S. Timlo, Anna C. Timlo as well as Mallika R. Timlo. The company is Goa based and involved in mining. It has reportedly been linked with illegal mining activities in the Supreme Court Central Empowered Committee report in 2012.
I don't have to say anything, I have to see the affidavit. If you have the affidavit, please give it to me.
Another person named in the government's affidavit is Rajkot bullion trader Pankaj Chivilan Lodhia, who owns the Shriji Trading Company. The firm offers wholesale delivery of bullion to domestic users like ornament manufacturers, goldsmiths, jewelers and semi-wholesalers. Its website says the company was set up 15 years ago and is trading links as well as branches in all major Indian cities. Lodhia has also spoken out with his name coming out in the public domain and claimed to have done nothing wrong.
I don't have any Swiss account, so I don't have actually right now. जब आप मुझे बोल रहे तब मुझे ये सब पता चल रहा है. I don't have any Swiss account. Whatever the prosecution, we will just reply. और हमारा ऐसा कुछ है नहीं. जो भी है हमने बुक्स में जो है वो सब दिखा दिया है और जो भी है हमने already declare कर दिया है.
For the government, this naming and shaming establishes its intent of being serious about those who've been stealing from the country. It perhaps also indicates that this list is just the beginning of a long haul in bringing home black money stashed abroad. Newsnight Desk, DD News.
The government submission of 8 names in its additional affidavit in the Supreme Court has triggered off a political war of words over the black money issue. Opposition parties are accusing the government of taking superficial action, while Yoga Guru Ramdev, who agitated over the issue during the UPA government's reign, has hailed the government's move.
जो नाम दिए हैं, अगर वो समझते हैं कि जो उन्होंने किया है वो उचित है और उनको इसका अधिकार है तो अच्छी बात है. हमें कोई आपत्ति नहीं है नाम देने या ना देने में, किसी का हमें आपत्ति नहीं है. लेकिन पहेलियां बुझाने में सरकार को पहेलियां नहीं बुझानी चाहिए. जो देना है और जो समझते हैं कि अधिकृत रूप से वो दे रहे हैं या देंगे वो देते रहे, उसमें कोई समस्या नहीं.
भारतीय जनता पार्टी की सरकार बनने के बावजूद भी जब नाम डिस्क्लोज नहीं किए जा रहे तो लोग सोच रहे हैं कि क्यों नहीं नाम डिस्क्लोज किए जा रहे, तो लोगों को शक हो रहा है.
आदरणीय मोदी जी ने सरकार बनते ही सबसे पहला कदम काले धन पर उठाया, एसआईटी गठित की, और अब काले धन को वापस दिलाने की दिशा में यह पहला कदम है कि 3 व्यक्तियों के नाम सामने आए हैं और उनके काले धन को सरकार जब्त करेगी. अभी तक की भारतीय राजनीति में काले धन के ऊपर यह एक सही दिशा में उठाया गया बहुत बड़ा और पहला कदम है. निरंतर इस दिशा में अभी आगे बढ़ने की जरूरत पड़ेगी और जब तक इन काले धन के चोरों से पूरा धन वापस न ले लिया जाए तब तक यह अभियान जारी रहना चाहिए.
The big question we're asking tonight is, has the government begun to deliver on its promise of cracking down on black money? To discuss that, we are joined by Shana NC, BJP spokesperson, Javeer Shergill, Congress spokesperson Prashant Bhushan, senior advocate with the Supreme Court, and Aam Aadmi Party spokesperson, and Ved Jain, former president with the Institute of Chartered Accountants of India. Welcome you all to Newsnight. My first question to you, Shana. Has the government begun delivering on its promise of cracking down on black money? Or, as your detractors say, this is simply an eyewash which is targeting the low-hanging fruit and sparing the powerful?
Most definitely the government has. I don't think there's been any government other than ours that has shown this kind of political will. The fact that we had an SIT in place, the fact that we had the sovereign treaty, our Honorable Finance Minister has said on several interviews 2 points. One, that this is not going to be used as an instrument for any kind of political vendetta. The evidence that needs to be produced would be produced in a court of law, and it is for when the prosecution examines, that's when the names would be revealed. Post that, of course, if proven guilty, it would all be within the public purview and the public domain for everyone to know who these perpetrators of crime are. Now I've been hearing through the day that why are there only 3 names that have been revealed and why are they all businessmen. This itself shows you how judiciously we as a government are acting, because this is not about a case of one-upmanship or about people from political affluent families who have usurped public money and who have acted in a way which is not in accordance to law. I am sure that in the days to come there will be many such revelations which will also have people who are in influential positions, all of which is unfolded. But right now you need to give it to us. You had 10 years of an incompetent UPA government that
But
only
Shana,
paid
when you were in the
lip service to bringing
opposition,
black money back.
the
We
BJP
have
was
walked the
demanding
talk
that
and we have done it in
irrespective of
stipulated
lack of
time.
prosecution and irrespective of the status of investigation and prosecution in all of these cases, the UPA government should have gone ahead and released all those names. That was the expectation from the BJP government. Also during the campaign, the BJP made this black money issue a major issue and said that it will ensure that black money is brought back at the earliest. Have you gone back on your words?
Not at all, Munmunji. Let's understand that if we had gone back on our word, we wouldn't have reached so far. The fact that we are going to ensure that all this money comes back into this Indian economy is used for good use, and nobody, but nobody, irrespective of their power and their influence, is going to be shielded. I think that is it's going to be a benchmark when it comes to Indian history, that the BJP and the NDA government under the leadership of Narendra Modi ji did not just talk about bringing black money back, but we have actually ensured that the perpetrators of crime are also socially ostracized, and there is no question of shielding anyone. In the days to come there are going to be lot more revelations, and I can assure you, as I have heard the Honorable Finance Minister, and his impeccable credibility also speaks volumes of the fact that he has a conviction to ensure that this case, these cases are brought to the logical conclusion and everything is within the public purview and nothing is there to hide.
Mr. Shergill, the Congress is today asking as to why the government has not come out with the entire list. But even when you were in power, the UPA government did not come out with the full list.
I just want to make 3 or 4 quick points. Number 1, regarding the disclosure today, is nothing but merely a face-saving exercise to ward off the wrath of the media, the people of India, especially the opposition, the Congress party, for their shaky, fluctuating and oscillating stand qua this issue. The reality of the issue is today they have themselves tied in a Gordian knot. On one hand are the tall claims made during the campaign, on the other are their political compulsions, and third, the interest of those who funded their entire campaign. Number 3, I was hearing Ms. NC that how great work they have done. 17th October 2014 is hardly 10 days away. They filed a specific affidavit they don't want to disclose. It's only the nudge from the media, the opposition, that they realize the water is going above the head, and they had to disclose. Number 4, again and again SIT word is being repeated. Let me remind the BJP spokesperson, it was under the order of the Supreme Court. Last, when you talk about what did the UPA do, today whatever UPA did, the result is being shown today. You cannot simply get the information. We retrieved the information, 81 tax agreements, 14 new information exchange agreements under the French DTAA, 400 crores indicative, 30 crores received. Now let me ask Ms. NC a specific question. Since they have taken over, one name they have retrieved on their own account from any government in this world, or one new agreement to exchange information from any government.
Shana, would you like to respond to that last bit?
I don't think I need to respond to the Congress because they have only one agenda, which is to deflect from a debate, and which
the charge that the Congress is making is simply this, that the NDA government has done nothing concrete in terms of signing agreements or revealing new names.
But this is utter nonsense. We have a sovereign treaty which has specified that all the investigative procedures should be within a court of law, and the evidence should be used by the prosecution and not as a media trial. Irrespective of that, we have gone ahead to say the Enforcement Directorate, once proven guilty and in a court of law, we want everything to be within the public domain. And there is no
Okay.
question of shielding anyone. This is just 3 of the names. The 4 more which are going to come within stipulated time are going to put the Congress completely to shame. But we are not trying to gain political brownie points out of this, and we are not trying to go on a one-upmanship show.
Okay.
The agenda is only to bring black money back and to put it within the economy so that our country is revived and all these thugs are brought to task.
Right.
I just want to make a-
Shahnaaz, I know, Mr. Cherkal, you want to respond to that, but before that, let me bring in the other guests as well. Mr. Bhushan, why do you think that despite the double taxation avoidance agreement and various tax agreements that India has entered into with different countries, India can still go ahead and reveal those names? Because the Indian government says if it does that, then in future, those countries will stop cooperating with them when it comes to sharing tax-related information.
Well, this precise argument had been made by the UPA government before the Supreme Court for not revealing the names at that time. And in 2011, in a very detailed judgment, the Supreme Court rejected this argument and said that the double taxation agreement with Germany is certainly not a bar for revealing this information. They said that the German government had never told the Indian government not to reveal this information, and once there is an order of the Supreme Court asking the government to make public this information about accounts held by Indian citizens abroad, then why should the government go back to the Supreme Court and say that, well, please modify your order and allow us not to reveal